This podcast is sponsored by BB Mates, a personalised gift company. Are you looking for the secret Santa gifts with a difference? Trying to buy for that one friend who has it all? Or maybe just the grumpy family member who doesn't want anything? Well, look no further than BB Mates, the family-run personalised gift company who can create the perfect gift just for you. With the ability to create custom orders on a wide variety of products, Christmas shopping has just become as easy as scoring at the Etihad. Contact them at info@bbmakes.com to talk to them about designing something just for you, or you can visit www.bbmakes.com to shop their pre-designed items. Don't forget to use the code COYS to let them know where you came from.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me, he's back once again, it's Stefan.
Like a renegade master. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. And you?
I've realised how old that joke actually just was. And there's going to be so many people probably listening to this going, what's a renegade master?
No, I think you're safe. I think
Yeah.
our audience, because I'm like, ancient, 1 foot in the grave. I think the ancient is. I think we're okay. I think everyone would get that reference.
I hate it. I've been aging myself recently, and I've realised I keep doing it.
No, it happens to us all. Unfortunately, kids really are the prime kind of giver of just destroying my whole myth that I was still young and cool and hip. My daughter, now being a teenager, says she basically speaks another language. I don't friggin' understand Leng, Peng. I mean, I thought she was just naming characters from Pokemon for a while. I haven't got a friggin' clue what any of it means.
There's this new thing, skibbity Riz or something. I don't know. Some kid said about it the other day. I was in a shop and I heard him say something, and I looked at him. I'm like, "Are you ill,
Mate?
What's wrong?"
It's ridiculous. What happened to good old-fashioned amaze balls? But anyway, this is the Spurs News Podcast, where we occasionally talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Thank you to Matt for stepping in last week. That was a laugh. It was nice to hear him. Well.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you listened. You had a return of the Matt. Did you hear my amazing edit of that?
I did. I liked it. It was a good podcast. It was a very good podcast. I enjoyed it.
Do you want to know what the funniest thing about that amazing edit I did is? It never got copyright struck. So just by AI voicing the word Matt over Mac, apparently that's not a copyright anymore.
Oh, happy days.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, I'm happy about it, but I was fully expecting to get grief, but I thought it'd be funny. The people who get to hear it will enjoy the laugh. But it's still there. Anyway, we got a few things to talk about, but what we're actually going to open with, just simply because I tend to do this, answer or talk about things, and then I go to questions, and then it's like, I've already been talking about that for 20 minutes. So we're going to start with this.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
I might actually rename this segment. It's time for comments from Facebook, because no one likes us anywhere else anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. Twitter's just abuse. Like, there's just, hey, anyone?
Yeah, no one clicks on that.
Would anyone like to, have a topic of discussion for, the leave you out? Not really a question, but thank you. Go for yourself. Yeah, okay, thank you for that. Our manager's a kangaroo shacker. All right, okay, I get it. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Okay, so we have two here. First one is from Ryan Miller, friend of the show. Hello, Ryan. Do you think we will have an active transfer window? Has there been any early rumours? Yes, there has been lots of rumours.
My favourite is that Jack Grealish has signed a pre-contract agreement with Tottenham Hotspur. I saw that being shared around the old Twitterverse. I think it was this morning I saw that, actually.
A pre-contract agreement?
Yeah, so go figure what that means.
Well, it means that it's made up nonsense.
Yeah, but it's being shared everywhere. A pre-contract agreement.
I mean, to clarify, that's literally not a thing. Like, you can't do that between two English clubs.
Yeah, that's like him saying, I agree, I will sign for your club for all of these terms. I agree to all of it. And now we can talk about a contract. Like, what?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, a pre-contract exists. I mean, like, so for example, in January, for example, to use the most famous examples out there at the moment, which is Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Those two players' contracts expire with Liverpool in the summer. In January, those two players can talk and sign pre-contract agreements with any club outside of England.
Yes.
Inside of England, cannot talk to them, cannot approach them, nothing until their contract actually expires. Reality, we all know that, you know, hey mate, would you sign for us? Maybe. Okay, well in the summer, if you fancy it, here's the sort of deal you could have. But you cannot sign a pre-contract agreement with someone in England. So any story like that is utter bollocks.
And he's got like another 2.5 years on his contract as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is a whole range of nonsense. I mean, at least when I make up stuff on April Fool's Day, I try and grind it in reality a little bit. To the point that some of the stuff I've written has got me in trouble. So it's like, yeah, that was far too convincing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go viral for an April Fool's joke again. I don't think I'm going to do it next year. It's like a tradition that's been fun, but now it just seems to get me grief.
Yeah, no, don't, because you say you won't do it, and then you're going to do it, and everyone that's listening to his podcast is going to remember that you said, I'm not going to do it.
I know. Shh, don't tell anyone.
You're an arse.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, really. Shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah. So yeah, Ryan, the interesting, I mean, there's loads of rumours out there. We are going to get linked with so many players, and the main reason why we're going to get linked with so many players is we are completely threadbare. So everybody knows that Tottenham should, I cannot underline and capitalise this word enough, should, and be looking to add 2 to 3 players in the January window. Worryingly, the only thing I've heard from anyone I would give credibility to is about outgoings. so that is, it's worrying in the sense of that's all I've heard. I would add to that, which is a bit of a kind of caveat, is since our transfer operations are being handled by Johan Lang, the leaks on incoming have decreased massively. So I'm fairly confident when Paratici was running things, he basically rang reporters and was like, I'll tell him I'm signing this guy, let everyone know, it's going to be fun. Like,
he must have been, yeah.
And then does like a victory lap, like, hey, Romano, buddy, tell everyone I'm signing this guy. What? You know, I don't know. I don't know what was going on there.
Have you his agent? No, but it sounds fun.
Nah, just tell everyone I'm signing him so everyone knows. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's an interesting one because I don't know, man. What's your take on this? What do you think about the January transfer window? Do you think, because it's a weird window, definitely, because anyone of real quality clubs don't want to let go.
No,
obviously.
It's nigh on impossible to make major signings in January.
But at the same time, as I say that, there are 2 players at PSG, for example, the defender Milan Skriniar. I don't know how to say his surname.
Yeah.
How do you say his surname? Do you know?
Skriniar, yeah, that sounds about right. I know what you mean.
We don't know. Everyone should know who that is. And there's another player there as well. Both been left out the Champions League squads. Been told by the manager to leave in January. Their contracts expire in the summer. Basically, PSG are like just willing to let them go in January. Both of the players that I saw are experienced international European level players who would improve us instantly. But
I've not seen enough of Skriniar to say, but he's not someone that jumps out to me as someone that plays handball.
We have 3 central defenders we've got 4 central defenders of Ben Davies.
Yeah.
2 of them aren't fit.
We need a centre-back. Yeah. We need a goalkeeper with the Vicario injury thing. I know we were going to look in the summer, but probably get bumped up into looking in January, which means every semi-good goalkeeper has just added 10 million to their price.
Yeah, we got. For me, like if you're a club and you've got a team on the field or whatever, you're trying to achieve something in the season, there are probably key positions you're not gonna let go in January. And I'd probably say if you've got a goal scorer, no way. Like you want him for that season at least. And if you've got a decent keeper, no way. Like, let's say, like even if you're fighting relegation, for example, like if you're down on your luck, you might be going down. You know the money would be really good, but you still got that hope, and you'd basically be telling the squad, yeah, okay, we're selling the keeper. Don't worry though, we still want to stay up. Where the rest of the squad would be like, clearly everyone thinks we're down. clearly, planning has changed.
Yeah, it's like you can't imagine a team. Let's just go like Everton, for example, that have struggled for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And suddenly in January, Tottenham sign Pickford.
Yeah.
Now every single Everton fan is going to go, well, we're getting relegated and we don't care. Right,
exactly.
Okay,
I mean, and if we sign Pickford, that means we'd have England's number 1 and England's number 2 at the club. All of a sudden, Pickford being 2. Anyway, it's a weird one because I think every logical football-minded person, every pundit, anyone with any sense looks at Tottenham and goes, need reinforcements. Definitely.
Yeah.
The only things, like I've said, I've heard with any degree of certainty is that Timo Werner, there's a very real possibility his loan's going to get cut short. But that could cost us financially unless we can line him up, like find him another loan, if that makes sense. Like, here you go, we're bombing him out, but this club are going to take him.
Wow. Okay.
So that's one. The other one is Reguilon leaving, and there's about 5 clubs willing to take him on loan until his contract ends, and he's now keen to go because, money, football. So I don't think either of those are going to have a massive impact on the first 11, but if you look at the squad right now, both of them are on the bench because we literally don't have the numbers. As Ange said, without them, or even with them, we are filling the bench with kids he has to get permission slips from to be let out of school.
Which is crazy. And even with the injuries and stuff that we've had in defensive positions, Reguilon's not getting off the bench.
No, it says a lot, really.
Archie Gray, where do you play? Anywhere? Brilliant. You can play left back instead. We've got a left back on the bench. No, don't worry about it.
You're just mentioning Archie Gray to me, and it's just made me laugh because you know how Tottenham can post something sort of completely innocuous, and fans can take it the wrong way and then run with it. Like something can get posted, and So the other day, Archie Gray is doing something for Christmas, really fun. Like it's a really laid back laugh, and one of the questions is, what language is Archie Gray learning? And he's just starting to learn Spanish. So, I put it to you, what do you think a big proportion of our fandom then ran with at the news that Archie Gray, a young 18-year-old, has decided to take Spanish lessons?
Oh, God. It could be so many things.
That he's using us as a stepping stone. He thinks he's going to end up at Madrid.
I was going to say, it's got to be like the Madrid links, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say ran with it, I mean ran with it.
Yeah.
I like reading through this, like reactions to this. I'm like, oh, wow. I just kind of laughed because Pedro Porro was like, you don't speak Spanish? Like, no, I've not had a lesson yet. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. And I just thought it was funny. But no, apparently that means he thinks of us as a stepping stone. Levy out. I like it. I like where the head's at. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I had this debate with Matt about the fact that all the signings we've had really are teenagers, and my problem or my kind of fear is that we give them all this experience and then they go, right, we're off now to win stuff, and so
cheers, lads.
So we as a club never actually benefit from them at their prime because all we do is basically train them up, give them all this experience, and off they go. So I said this is like, oh, this is one of my fears. And then, of course, you got Archie Gray, 18 years old, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to learn Spanish. And everyone jumping on it. I was like, oh, no.
I'm learning Spanish. Why is that? I'm moving to Madrid.
Yeah. Yeah, just keeping my options open. Yeah, good one. Yeah, so
See,
that was...
For me, it makes sense. Porro speaks Spanish. Cuti Romero speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
There's a few players on the squad, like, there's a few players there that probably do speak a bit of Spanish. It makes sense for him to learn.
Yeah.
He wants to hear what Reguilon's saying about him whilst he's sat on the bench and he's playing at left back. He wants to know what the insults are. It makes perfect sense.
Probably doesn't want to know, really.
No.
So, yeah, so to answer the question, no, there's been no real incoming rumours of any note that isn't just batshit, as Stefan pointed out. We should be busy, but I'm at a point where I have zero faith in the club for stuff like that. Like, I just have no belief that they actually have the ambition and the drive to achieve these things, because what it would take is to spend that bit more. So to prize a player away in January, let's say a player's worth 15 million in the summer, he's 20 million in January. The club would be like, oh, we'll wait for the summer. And that's...
Oh, 100%.
And that's the problem. And because the other problem with doing that, of course, is the player then like, oh, well, you don't really want me then. Like, if you really wanted me, you'd spend the money. And then, of course, by the summer, let's say that player has a stonking second half of the season. One, his existing club might be thinking, I could bump that fee up a little bit, but also there'll be other clubs interested. So all of a sudden, we've gone from having someone lined up, fully scouted, this is our guy, the manager wants him, we want him, the guy wants to join us, yeah, but we're not going to pay, to in the summer, the player's now cold on us because he feels he got messed around. Yep. And we're on number 5 or 6 from our list because all of a sudden the prices of the ones we rate have gone up. It's difficult. It's frustrating because, again, you look at the models of recruitment and stuff, and we're mirroring, trying to recruit a bit more like Brighton, find these players, bring them through, and try and do it that way. But at the same time, we need model,
some ready-made in there at the same time.
You do. You need, we are overhauling this squad, which means, the experience of the squad has gone. Like players like Højbjerg and people like that. The experienced professionals who, under Ange, Højbjerg was coming on and doing a job for Ange. Shutting stuff down. He was never an Ange ball player. The player knew that. Ange knew that. And when the opportunity arose, he's moved on. But what is interesting is that level of experience now is gone from the squad, and it's not been replaced. And what we've replaced it with is an 18-year-old utility player in Archie Gray, who's, like you said, left back, right back, central defence. I think the only position I've not seen him really play is his position of midfield.
Is midfield? I was going to say, I haven't seen him play centre midfield yet.
No, I think he got 10 minutes
side,
there.
Actually, I read this morning that Ranieri has said that Diablo is available from Roma.
Who?
Diablo?
Dybala.
The guy with Dybala, yeah, him, that's the one.
Yeah, we can't afford him.
We've wanted to sign him for about 7 years, haven't we?
His image rights, far too much. Do you know, actually, all joking aside, that's actually a perfect example of when we as a club have basically said F you to ambition, and the fans are left just wondering why the hell that didn't happen. Like, the argument over that deal was £10 million for image rights. We wouldn't sign him unless we had all of it. This third party company were just like, well, we're digging in 10 million. We actually agreed it in the end, but ran out of time to register him because we didn't agree it until the 11th hour. So basically what happened is Levy tried his brinkmanship, hoping they'd drop the price. And then when it got to it, went, oh shit, I got to pay it then. And we ran out of time to buy him. And the player,
a well-known story.
Well, it's just, there are so many times where good business, sensible negotiation is different to football negotiation and footballing priorities. And what I mean by that is Daniel Levy negotiating with a contractor for the stadium and driving a bargain, driving it home, pestering the shit out of people, basically driving them insane, works in that sense, in that environment. His commercial stuff, the acumen around that, is right up there. It's probably second to none in sport. But when it comes to football negotiation, your priority is improving the football team, not the bank balance. And that's where there's a disconnect. Like, he focused on improving the cash flow of the club, all these different things, so we can compete. That was what we were told all along.
Yep.
And now we're in a position where it's like, okay, where is the actual evidence of you wanting us to compete? Because if you say to us, like, look, we've got this stadium, yeah, we've had to labour it with debt, but we very cleverly structured the debt this way, so when we have rugby matches, NFL, concerts, that pays all of the debt. So every game day, when we take in best part of £2 to £3 million on a home match, that's insane money, that's club, that's money, that's the club. They've built it so it does that. It's just a profit centre, that stadium. It is a financial juggernaut. You look at all of the commercial partnerships. Like, we've announced another one today for, like, Tiger Beer. Our international beer partner, now Tiger. Wonderful. Great. That's more money for us. That's probably going to be a few £100,000 in the coffers today. And then ongoing.
Yeah.
But all of these commercial
over the season, they probably make about £40 million easily just from home games.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, wages are high. You know, footballers get paid a considerable amount of sum, and you have got a big staff across every aspect of the football club, the academy, all of it. So don't get me wrong, there is a substantial wage bill in addition. So I know it's more than that. But my point is, the way they've done it, the way this whole thing's been structured, they've still got 50 million that Enoch invested sat there that can be drawn down. They've not touched it. There's so many facets to this that it's kind of like, we back the manager, we're going this way, this is the way we want to play, and we know we just need to keep moving the squad because we're heading in the right direction. Completely agree with that. I'm actually on board with that. I've not lost faith in him. I've lost patience a few times, but I've not lost faith yet. I'll say yet, because I haven't. Look, I mean, I think it's human to be annoyed at frustrating results. I think that's human. But when I've calmed down, I'm like, okay, this is still light years better than the shit I was watching under Jose and Conte. And we were still losing stupid-ass games and playing shit constantly under them. Like, defensive, boring, 10-man behind the ball and still conceding.
Shots on target for 3 matches.
Yeah, like Matt said last week, I mean, like, you forget that. Like, we didn't have a shot on target in the second half against Southampton for ages the other day, and we were 5-0 up, so I don't care. Like,
I'm gonna let the team off for that, yeah.
But in those games, we were 2-0 down and still sat around the edge of our box like, oh, what do we do? Hope Harry scores. Yeah, that's the plan. What was it Deli said? Just kick it long and fucking hope. Yeah, well, you summed it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look, I know we've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but hopefully, Ryan, that answers your question in some roundabout way. The other question is from Tom Perks, who says, we cannot afford to sack Ange. I mean, I've not seen the bank balance. We probably can, but yeah. Oh, right, you mean it. Okay, right. And this is why. Sacking Pochettino was a stupid decision, but fortunately for us, we had a leader and a great goalkeeper in his prime at the time. We had Harry Kane and we had Sonny in their prime. If we sack Ange, then we will be in a lot of trouble and for a lot of years. P.S. It was great to have Matt back last week. Stefan's a dick. Wow, that's a bit harsh.
I agree with all of it, especially the last bit.
He didn't say the last bit. I'm just teasing you. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, he's right.
Though, the rebuild, like, to sack a manager and have another rebuild when we've literally built a squad now around this style of play. Who's now available? Like what? Graham Potter? Like, his style of football is nothing like what we play now.
No.
So that's another rebuild. Who else is actually available at the moment? David Moyes.
Yeah, there we go. That'd do
Not
it,
this
yeah.
style of football
Yeah.
at all.
No.
So another rebuild will be taken. You know, we sack hands and we're going to end up with a different manager and a different approach and another rebuild.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, we'll be like, oh, we're still in the rebuild phase.
And then we'll sack. Well, yeah, it's like a vicious cycle. It's the Tottenham life cycle. Now, the thing that's interesting, and the thing I try and communicate to people, because I think it's something we as fans need to think about, is that we've almost become conditioned that the problem at the club's the manager. And what I mean by that is, ever since Enoch took over, their solution to not winning has been fire the manager, start again.
Oh, you've actually just brought me onto a fantastic thing, actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Go for it.
I listen to TalkSport Radio.
Yep.
I know. On the drive time show, they do a thing 3 times during the show. They do a thing called No Googling.
Okay.
He will read out a stat
Yeah.
and a question stat, and the idea is try and answer it without Googling the answer.
Fair enough.
Yesterday's one was about managers in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And it is 2 clubs have had the most amount of managers since the Premier League started.
Yeah.
2 clubs have had 28 managers since the start of the Premier League.
28? Okay, that's not us then.
Yeah, us and Chelsea.
See, I was going to say Chelsea, but there's no way we've had 28 since the start. Oh, hang on.
I can only shoot if he's adding in, like, you know, Ryan Mason.
Oh, okay. So you're so temporary as well.
The guy that kind of took on Conte's number 2.
See, I want to work through this now. But then the start of the Premier League. Sorry, I was thinking purely Enoch and Levy.
No, this is since 91?
93, 94 season, I think, or 92, 93, because 1990, 91 Arsenal won the league. 91, 92. Who was it who won the last ever? Leeds won the last ever First Division as the top flight. And then Man United won the first ever Premier League. So it must have been 92, 93. So 92, 93, we'd have been in our kind of George Graham, Ozzy Ardiles, Christian Gross, hell. Jerry Francis, David Pleat again.
I'm now doing what they tell you not to and Googling. So, when are you saying the Premier League started?
92, 93.
93, 94, yeah?
No, 92, 93.
92. So, Doug Livermore.
Okay.
Ardiles,
Yeah.
Perryman, Francis, Gross, Pleat, Chris Hooton, George Graham, David Pleat again, Hoddle, David Pleat again.
Yeah.
Satini.
Oh, awful.
Remember that?
Yeah,
that
Martin Yole.
thing,
Martin Yole was next.
That was like, what, 4 months?
Yeah, that was shocking, yeah.
Okay, so then we've got Martin Yole.
Yeah, and then that prick from
Clive
Spain.
Allen.
Oh, hang on. Oh, right, so Clive Allen came in.
Clive Allen in. He was in charge for 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that counts.
No.
One day Ramos.
Yeah.
The cup winner.
Yeah, that still hurts me.
Harry Redknapp, AVB, Tim Sherwood, Pochettino, Mourinho, Mason, Espirito Santos.
Yeah.
Conte, Stellini, Mason, Postecoglou.
Oh, Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, okay. Oh, do you know what? There was like a kind of PTSD response to some of those names when you were reading them out.
That was 26 I just read out.
Yeah, seriously, they're wrong. That's not right. We've not had 28.
But yeah, that's. But yeah, no, they gave that stat out, and I was like, "Holy crap, we've had a lot of Basically, my point was we have had a lot of managers and a lot of rebuilds.
Oh no, sorry,
Poch was in charge for 5 years.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we've kind of completely stumbled away from the point we were trying to make, and I'm just having some sort of visceral reaction to some of the names there. Like, I can't believe they managed my football club.
AVB was sacked 11 years, 3 days ago.
Me and Dan go round and round about that ginger. Do you know what? So many people loved him, and I just didn't at all. Like, I didn't like him from day one at Chelsea. I didn't like him when he joined us. I felt it was ridiculous. And then I watched him have this great season. But in reality, what I watched was probably the best player in the world that season playing for us in Gareth Bale.
I think that's my problem, is that is what I remember. I remember AVB as Gareth Bale scoring and running over and hugging him.
That season, genuinely, I believe there were 3 players on the planet a class above everybody: Ronaldo, Messi, and Gareth Bale. And look, this is controversial, okay? And I could be proven wrong. Many people won't agree with me. I don't think Messi and Ronaldo put up the stats they put up that season in England like Bale did.
Not in that Tottenham team. No, definitely not.
But I think that season he was, for me, the best player in the world. That season he was unbelievable. For me, the best player in the world is Lionel Messi, without a shadow of a doubt. And Ronaldo should be up there, but I just don't like him for lots of reasons.
I have many reasons to like that. Football ability, yes. Everything else, no.
Yeah. But when it comes to like that season, we were blessed and should have, and again we go back there, should have built on it. Should have gone, right, we have got the best player on the friggin' planet. Let's now put this guy in, build around it. Let's do this. Oh no, we're just going to sell. All right. Modric gone. Okay. All right. Bale gone. All right. King retired. Brilliant. All right. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Just crumbled into shite. But that's the story. So, the next topic we're going to move on to is a slightly brighter one, which is we beat Southampton 5-0. It was a madness of a game because, for me, we played the way we've played a lot this season, which is trying to get forward, trying to get at teams. Southampton, which I think is the reason why the guy got fired that night, not even the next day, he got fired that night.
Mate, they're saying you'll get sacked in the morning, and they weren't even right. They couldn't even guess it was going to happen that quick.
Ange Postecoglou in a press conference today, they said to him about, do you have any sympathy and anything? He's like, yeah, we don't even get sacked in the morning anymore. We're going to have to change the song. Made me laugh.
Brilliant.
Yeah, us managers.
Sacked in a minute.
Yeah, you're getting sacked after the game. Yeah. But yeah, so it was a mad because you can only beat what's in front of you, and I think that's a really important thing. And I always say that because a lot of people are just like, oh, that's the worst team we've played this season. Yeah, I'd probably say they were the worst team we played this season. But we went to their ground in an evening kickoff on a Sunday, which was weird. Decent atmosphere to start the game, from the home fans. And we came at them and we demolished them early, killed the crowd, like half of them left. A load more left at half time. And then in the second half, in very un-Ange-able way, just controlled the game. Just saw it out. Now, it would appear, from what I've read since, he actually told him to do that because of the sheer level of injuries we've got, the sheer level of fatigue, and he basically said to him, just keep the ball. Just keep the ball moving. If you get a chance, great, but no one go bombing on, don't play handball, basically. And like a few of the reporters said...
would that classify as a plan B?
No.
Okay, good.
No,
okay, good.
That's just...
There'd be a lot of very unhappy people out there if Ange had a plan B.
That's just not doing your usual thing. It was interesting because I was getting frustrated watching it. I was getting frustrated thinking we're just doing that. Tottenham, we're winning, we don't need to try. And a few journalists were like, typically when Tottenham are doing that, Ange is going mental. Like, he is ferocious. Like, at the end of a game, he's always hoarse, but sometimes he is like, and it's like, oh, Jesus, Ange. you have shouted for 90 minutes, haven't you? But they basically said like he wasn't, and so afterwards in a few interviews and stuff, it seems pretty clear. He basically said to them at half time, we are 5-0 up, and we are fucked. Like, there's a sports scientist here currently looking at your data crying. So,
yeah, you shouldn't even be able to walk.
Yeah. Pedro Porro is currently walking around with 25 blisters per toe. Basically, we're going to try and take it easy in the second half. And the Destiny Doggy injury was just like, oh, great. Okay, so our plan to rotate and do this is, Pedro, you were going to have a nice sit on the bench. Yeah, not anymore, kid. Up you go.
And it's that funny thing of like Tottenham can't have nice things.
Oh, never.
We're 5-0 up. Oh, the left back's injured.
Yeah, we're 5-0 up. Oh, and the guys literally just dropped on the pitch. Brilliant, yeah. The word on Destiny Doggy is it's not a serious injury, but he is potentially not going to be able to start against Man United just through sheer, probably exhaustion. I mean, the schedule's nuts.
Yeah.
By the way, and I know we've kind of had this conversation before, but what do you think to the whole they get paid enough, just get on with it? I could play this many games. Because you're someone who's played football, you enjoy playing football a couple of times a week, whatever, five-a-side and stuff. When you see people say that, do you agree with that? Because, like, from my point of view, looking on and listening to it, I just think people sound demented when they say stuff like that.
I find it difficult. So I used to play 11-a-side on a Saturday.
Yeah.
7-a-side Sunday night.
Yeah.
7-a-side Monday night, and then Tuesday and Thursday night.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of football, most of it evening stuff, most of it 7-a-side.
Yep.
In fairness, the Tuesday and the Thursday league was called FUSU, which stood for Fat, Old, Shit and Unfit.
Yep.
So, that you can tell the level straight away kind of where I was playing on the Tuesday and Thursdays.
Yeah.
But still, I was running pretty much the whole time. And I used to look at football players and be like, oh, man, I would give, like, my left anything.
Yeah.
To be able to play football in that stadium twice a week.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and go, yeah, but I'm not playing at any sort of standard.
No.
Really. I mean, back when I was younger, I played a pre-season friendly against Bradford City. That's about the highest. That's the peak of my footballing ability.
Yeah.
And I was in my late teens then, so I was a lot younger and fitter. And even then, they all fucking run around you like rings.
Yeah.
And I look at it and go, okay, I'm also not training 4 to 5 days a week.
No.
I don't have the mental aspect of what they must go through either.
No.
And it was only when I kind of sat down and thought about it that way that I kind of very much went from 3 games a week, boo-hoo, I'll do that for $100,000 a week. What do you want about?
Yeah.
You get to play the game that majority of this country would die to play professionally. Get over it. And then you kind of sit down, you think about not just the physical, but the mental aspect of it and fatigue and the level they're playing at. Like, they're not just going down the park and kicking the ball around with their mates.
No.
And you think to yourself, actually, yeah, burnout is definitely a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is massively, yeah.
There has to be a limit.
And it is, I mean, levels is an interesting sort of point to it. It's like there is levels to this. Like, so when I was a kid, and again, I've mentioned this before, I played rugby, and then I went to sort of professional terms with that. So when I was a kid, I would play rugby on a Saturday for like a school, Sunday for a club. I'd train 3 times a week, so I played a lot and played a lot of games, and like I might get a school game in the week as well. So sometimes I'd play 3 to 4 games in a week. Rugby is obviously a little bit more of a physical sport as well, but I was younger and I was doing that. When it went to like a professional thing, I was then sort of like, no, you can't do that. You're going to play 1 game a week. I was genuinely just kind of like, I'm going to be bored. Like I like to play the game. I want to do it. But within a couple of, like I didn't play many, but I played like twice, I think. And I was dead. I needed like a full day to recover from the sheer physicality of it. And also, the mental aspect is the really interesting thing. So I played a position in the front row in rugby, and a guy who coached me said to me once, what do you do to go to the dark place? And I was kind of like, what? Just kind of like casually went, well, you're going to be playing the front row against 3 guys in their 30s who've been playing this game for like 10 odd years in this position. They're going to twist you, punch you, bite you. What do you do to get yourself in that mindset to prepare for it? And I was just like, well, up until today, listen to a Spice Girls album, generally chill out. But like everything, everything had to change. Like literally everything. So I never understood that aspect of it until I played my first game, and I was hooked off after about 20 minutes and just given an absolute rollicking of like, what the hell are you doing here? And it is like I wasn't prepared. The next game I was, and my level went up. But me and you had talked about it, like the fact that mentally the players seem to switch off and seem to be on the beach at times and stuff like that. And it's a real issue I think we as a club need to address with our players.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like, if you're playing, going again, it is difficult to keep going to that level. That's on a mental side, but on a physical side, you have got all of the physios, all of the sports scientists, all of these people, all these top coaches looking at these players, trying to get the absolute best out of them for every minute they are on the pitch. You look at the stats that Kulusevski's putting in this season for yards covered, for recovery, like everything he's doing is the absolute upper echelon of midfielders for the entire top leagues in Europe. And he's doing that, but you've got to look at it and just go, at what point is that going to seriously, like if he's playing every minute of every single game, there's no way he can do it. And if you look at the way they're managing his minutes, he's not. He's sort of playing in, playing out, starting, then coming off the bench for a different one. They're managing him quite well. There's other positions in the team. We've not been able to do that. I mean, Porro and Udogie, for me, their levels this season have been inconsistent because they are fucked. That's my, my technical...
I'm hoping, because I personally have been really quite disappointed with Destiny's performances this season.
But what do you think about the last two games,
it's just a case of, like you say, he's just exhausted. Because there's been a few like defensive issues where it looks like he's not concentrating fully. And I know from, at my normal job that I do, there's been a couple of times I've had to pull like all-nighters.
Yeah.
And you're fatigued the next day and your decision-making isn't on point.
No.
You can make little mistakes and you can make errors because you're fatigued and you're knackered.
Yeah.
You then amplify that to you are in a stadium with 60,000 people shouting, cheering, jeering, and doing everything else.
Yeah.
You're playing against a professional footballer who is of that level. Mistakes are going to happen if you're fatigued.
Oh, massively. Yeah, I agree.
And I am hoping with Destiny that's what it is. And I'm hoping that I really hope we can find a left back or something to sign in January to give rotation options.
The last two games for Destiny, ironically, right up to the point he got injured, I thought he's been really good. Do you agree with that, or do you think he's still making the same errors?
Not against Southampton. Up until the injury against Southampton, I think I put in the group chat actually that he was having a lot better game.
Yeah.
Than what I'd seen. There's been a few games this season though where just defensively he looks like he's just lapsing slightly.
Yeah, I mean it's
compared to last season that is,
I think there's a lot of that. I think we've seen a lot of it from a number of players, which is frustrating. Looking ahead then, so I mean we did smash Southampton. Their manager got fired. Apologies, Dr. Tottenham didn't help him. Yeah, sorry, mate. The next game is Manchester United. That game is the League Cup quarter-final. It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's an evening kickoff. I'd like to think the place would be absolutely rocking. I've got no idea because I saw the category pricing for the game and thought it's a League Cup for sake.
So yeah, I'll say that. So obviously everyone on the podcast knows I moved up from Essex to Lincolnshire last year.
Yeah.
We are heading back down to Essex to go see family and stuff this weekend, and like a long weekend back in Essex seeing family and stuff.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho for Christmas. And I was looking at it, and I was looking at the fact that the match is on like the Thursday night, late kickoff in London, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, if I get my timings right here, I could literally get dropped off on kind of like the outskirts of London on the way through.
Yeah.
I could go to the game and get the train back to where we're staying for a few nights.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could get this. If I can get my timings just right for this, this could work. And I loaded up and looked at the ticket prices and went, whoa, wait a minute. League Cup. Freaking League Cup.
Yeah.
No. Like, if it was a home game against United in the league, I'd think, okay, maybe, but it's League Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing because you want the stadium to be sold out, rocking. I think it'll still be a good atmosphere. I think enough people will want to go because it's the opportunity to push the team over a sort of line. And they do need the help right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That crowd can lift that team to another level, and we are depleted. Would you want to hear something slightly amusing?
Go on.
Yves Bissouma missed the last game due to suspension, due to following the red. He is currently... hang on. Let me get this right. Am I right? No, sorry, I've got this round the wrong way. Apologies, everyone. Forget I just said that. Pretend I've edited it out. So I'm not going to do it because it'd be too annoying. I'm talking about Bentancur, right? Rodrigo Bentancur returns from suspension. I think it's New Year's Day.
Yes.
He is on 4 yellow cards. So technically, if he gets booked in that game, his first game back, he will then miss the next game. But if he didn't, I think it reset. Yeah, I think it then resets. I don't know. But I just looked at it the other day, and someone was saying about that just be how that goes. Miss like so many games through suspension, come back, booking, and he plays
7 games missed, plays 1.
Miss one, yeah. I mean, you know, if you're around, you're looking at that going, that's just going to happen. I got to accept that that's going to happen because the position he plays.
Yeah, there's not many things that are certain, but I reckon I might go put a fiver on Bentancur to get booked.
Yeah, in that game, it's just like so, you know, night follows day. Water is wet. Bentancur's going to get a yellow card in that game without any sort of shadow of a doubt. Or do something mental and get sent off, and we're all just going to be like, really?
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Have you not had enough of a break?
Yeah. So I was feeling it a bit. So, Yves Bissouma should come back for this game. He served his yellow card suspension. Sorry, that's why I got the two confused.
Now, is Bentancur's suspension is obviously league games. Does that count as cup games as well?
It's all domestic. So it's an FA ban, so it's everything domestic, but he can still play in Europe.
Right, gotcha.
But I mean, European games now don't start again until January. We've got two games.
2, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 games left in this prolonged group stage. And if we win both, we got a good opportunity of finishing in the top 8, which has to be our goal.
Now, I've got to be honest with you, with this whole new staging and stuff of the Europa League and the Champions League and stuff.
Yeah.
When it was first announced, I was going batshit. I was like, why we're in it? Why?
Yeah.
Why are you tinkering with something that doesn't need to be tinkering with? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I am freaking loving it.
Oh, really? I'm not.
I am loving it. Now he's getting underway. I'm like, there are 2 games left, and we can finish like anything from like 4th to 20th. And I'm like, every game now has like ramifications. I'm like, I'm really like, same with the Champions League. Like, I'm watching Champions League games, and in a normal season of the Champions League, you're kind of going, the last group stage game is normally a bit of a dead rubber, apart from maybe 1 or 2 fixtures.
Yeah.
And in this competition, that last group game is still going to mean everything to everyone.
I will tell you why, in my humble opinion, it's shit in bad. It's additional games, and as you've just pointed out, it's additional games that matter. So we were talking about players and fatigue and issues around fixtures and stuff like that.
There's no now final fixture to go and play the youngsters.
There's no rotation. There's no. Don't get me wrong, it changed because teams are then look at okay, this is the system. We win our first 5 games, we'll finish in the top 8 no matter what. So just go out and try and do it. So everyone's
looking at Liverpool. Liverpool have got 2 games left in the Champions League.
And they're guaranteed. Top 8. But I mean, you want to keep winning. I mean, I think Liverpool right now are kind of like on a wave. You just don't want to kind of. You don't want to play the kids and lose, and all of a sudden, oh no, hang on, now we've lost the next game. I mean, they're going to lose on Sunday, which is going to be a problem for them in their title race. But
apart from that,
yeah. So Man United is Thursday, and then Liverpool is Sunday. Both of them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Two massive games for us because it's a real opportunity. I mean, I'm really happy we thumped Southampton. We needed to do that. We needed to kind of clear the cobwebs and do that. I'm sorry to Southampton, but it needed to happen. But we now have a massive opportunity, because if we get a result against Man United, again, that's a lift. That takes the club into a semi-final of a cup competition, and it's 2 wins on the banks, which gives everyone a lift. The Liverpool game is one of those games which we talked about. The players don't need any additional motivation. That's a game they're going to be up for anyway, like the Man City game. Liverpool are going to play. They're going to come to our stadium. They're not going to sit in a low block. They're going to play. And that always gives us an opportunity. It's going to be an insane game. On form, on the way the players are set up and everything you've got right there, there's really only one winner of that game, and that's Liverpool. But we are a mental football club. Like, we are insane.
Oh, they drew the Fulham the other day, so there's a possibility there.
Yeah. But I mean, we're mental. Like, there's no. I got my eldest brother is a Liverpool fan. My next brother is a Tottenham fan, but my eldest is a Liverpool fan. He sort of grew, born in the 70s, sort of watching Liverpool as like they were the team. But anyway, he said to me, "It's like, the worst thing about playing Tottenham is I got no idea. Like, you lot are either frigging out of this world or you are shite. So could you be shite, please?"
Did you turn around to him and go, "Yeah, try being a fan"?
Oh no, he laughs. He laughs at me all the time. He's just like, how the hell can you cope with this? I'm like, I don't very well. Alcoholism, to be honest with you, is pretty much.
We have a podcast that we use for therapy. That's how well we deal with it. Yeah,
that also is true. Yes, drinking, a therapeutic podcast, and narcotics. But yeah, so. We got 2 massive games, and it's a real opportunity. Now, if we lose both of them, obviously I'll be disappointed and gutted. But to me, I'm not going to be Ange out, not screaming, not going to be anything like that. I'm just going to be really disappointed. They are 2 good sides. Man United just off the back of beating Man City. The one thing I would say about that Manchester derby, anyone who watched it, love your take. I thought the game was shite. Like, both teams.
It was not good to watch, was it?
It was like, who can be worse? It was just like so poor. Like, I don't know what's going on at Man City. They look like a group of players terrified to win a football match right now. And the minute United got that penalty and equalised, I was like, Man United are going to win this. Not that it's going to draw, they're going to win this. And they did. Like, that kid, I mean, that kid's goal was great.
As soon as Man City concede, it falls apart instantly.
Yeah. It's mad. Their confidence is gone, man. Like, they look terrified. Like, they look like rabbits in the headlights. And what is more concerning, if I was them right now, and I know this sounds mad talking about one of the greatest managers in history, is he looks terrified. He looks like a rabbit in the headlights. And genuinely is almost saying in press conferences, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the same stuff. Everything that's worked for me my entire career is suddenly not working. If this was Football Manager, I'd be save scamming right now and rage quitting and, smashing my computer to bits. It's weird. It is a weird situation there. And I personally think it's off field. I think it's to do with the court case. I think stuff is filtered through to the squad, to the management, everyone there, and everyone's uncertain and everyone's a bit kind of on edge. What are we going to be doing? I think agents are talking. I think management are in players' ears, like their management teams, like, oh, you need to be ready to leave. Like, if this,
whatever you do, do not get injured, because when this all comes to it, you're going to want to get out quick. When they deduct a 90 point, and it just has this feeling, I know it's going to sound stupid, of they think it doesn't matter if we win, because even if we win every game, we're not winning the title this season, because they're going to deduct 30 points off us or something. It just has that, it just has that edge. And I remember years ago, Leeds United, and a lot of people might remember this, Leeds United had this great young team, went all the way to the Champions League semi-final under David O'Leary as the manager. They played the best football. They were brilliant to watch. The squad was to die for. You looked at the players they had in that squad, and they completely... Was that like the Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka and all that?
Kewell, Viduka, Robbie Keane, Rio Ferdinand. They had experience in Batty in midfield. They had a squad to die for. Ian Hart left back, Gary Kelly right back. I knew that team. I knew it. Robinson in goal. they got all the way to the Champions League semi-final. They were doing great, but they completely overreached in the transfer market to achieve it. And in the summer, between those two seasons, it became clear through like press articles and stuff that Leeds were in financial trouble. And the next season, they got relegated. There is no correlation, really, between that group of players losing the ability to play football and win football matches. But clearly, all of them were like, shit, we need to leave. Like, where are we going? What are we going to do? But they got relegated. That was how awful they were. And to me, this feels like that. This feels like an off-field issue has got in all of their heads. And they're now, all of the players are kind of one mind on, well, it don't really matter if we win, and the other mind's on, I wonder who will sign me. I wonder where I'll go next. I quite fancy playing abroad, or I quite fancy this, or I quite fancy that. It's a strange situation. Like when Pep signed that new deal, it's like felt strange. Like, why would you sign that deal? Like, why would you do that right now? And but it felt like a kind of almost like a PR stunt of like, look, everyone, I'm here to stay. I have complete faith. Don't you worry. Like trying to galvanise them, and it's just not working.
Oh, it really did, didn't it? That it was the whole thing about the way it all came out and everything was almost like we're not in crisis because I wouldn't sign a deal otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It was just it's strange.
And now all of a sudden we have a Manchester derby, which is like a mid-table affair. It's crazy.
Yeah. What the fuck was that about? But yeah, I mean that's. I mean, what about you? I mean, looking ahead, we got these two games. It kind of, it's like a season within a season here, which could be really, really huge because you win both of those games, you put a marker down by beating Liverpool in the league and you move up the table because everything's so congested. 3 points right now does move the needle.
It's a boost, yeah.
And his 3 points probably not expected from us, and also the confidence it gives would be huge. And the Man United game takes us into a semi-final of a cup competition, which again is when you listen to Postecoglou and he's kind of in a second season, I win something. The whole squad buying into that, believing it, like, oh, our manager wins stuff. We're going to win this. Do you know what I mean? It's like a kind of, there is a real psychological win from this week being a big week for us. But at the same time, I fear 2 bad results. I don't know. Am I overthinking this? Am I putting too much importance?
Right. And it's one of those things as well. Like as we've said about the whole, you don't need these 2 games. We need absolutely no motivation.
No.
If you are not up for these 2 games,
then find
you're
a new
at the wrong club.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you just don't know what Tottenham is going to turn up.
Oh, I hate that term, but you're so right.
And it's one of those things I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the games and I'm like, yeah, there's no reason at all why we cannot turn up to our home stadium with a home crowd and perform like we did second half first Villa against like we did against Man City, again like we did the beginning first half of the Southampton game. Which, really, in all fairness, the first 15 minutes against Southampton really pissed me off. Because I was putting my daughter to bed and thought, I'll only miss 10 minutes, it'll be fine. I came down at 3-0 and was like, what the shit?
you said to me, it's like, oh, do I put a game on? I was like, no. You put a game on and we stop scoring or they score, I'm always going to blame you. And you were like, I put it on and we scored a 4th, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'm not telling anyone.
I saw that one.
Yeah. If they'd scored, you'd have just kept quiet.
Mate, if they'd have scored, I would have turned it back off and gone, nope, wasn't me.
It's 3-1. Oh, well, you can't blame me. I wasn't watching. Really? Okay, I was watching a little bit. Yeah.
How did you know? I just don't know what... I don't want to say I'm optimistic because I feel like it's always the hope that kills you.
Yeah. Tottenham in general is killing me, I think. The whole Tottenham till I die should be replaced with Tottenham till it kills me. Till they kill me,
yes.
which is the most accurate thing. I'm worried that it's like one of those things where it's pressure, but I do feel like this is kind of, and you can say about a lot of things, but it feels kind of season defining. Like if you can win these 2 games, all of a sudden the spirit, the atmosphere will lift, and like it's a cup semi-final that you're into. you're going into the new year still in the Europa League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, and if you look at the table, although we're 10th, we got the second best goal difference in the league. Joint first is Chelsea and Liverpool with plus 18. We're on plus 17. It is friggin' mental. So if we then transfer, like we start winning more than we're losing, which is, I know, is a big ask for us, but if all of a sudden we do find that form, like the start of Ange Ball, 10 games in a row, if all of a sudden we put a run like that together, we're third or fourth, we're right up there, and all of a sudden we're all scratching our heads like, well, we wanted the guy sacked a few weeks ago, It's like,
and I think this is one of the most unpredictable seasons. I'm sure we say this most seasons, but this is genuinely one of the most unpredictable, where anyone seems to be able to get points off of anyone.
It feels to me like the relegation's sorted, like there's 2 down there that are down, and then at the top you've got a title race between 3 clubs. And then other than that, it's almost like a couple of losses were down there with the bottom 2, or a couple of wins were up there with the top 3. It's mental.
Oh, definitely so.
Yeah, it is insane. Now, that is our show. We are wrapped for this week. Now, next week, it is Christmas. So I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do. There's a very distinct possibility we may have a week off, but I don't know yet. So keep an eye on social media.
Well, our next recording day would be Boxing Day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
We have a match on Boxing Day?
I think so.
This could be interesting. Depending on that result.
Yeah, depending on how all these results go, you might get at least one of us just cheering or crying. I mean, after a result recently, I was very tempted just to have me screaming for 20 minutes. So that could happen for Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. But we will see. Keep an eye on the social media. We'll put out, let you all know what we're doing. But there's a distinct possibility with it being Christmas and us having children and things, we might take a week off. But other than that, it'll keep rolling. Thank you so much as always for listening. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Until next time, you all take care. And if I don't speak to you before, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.